Moments of clarity. In the heart of a bustling city, where life moved at a relentless pace, lived a woman named Clara. She was a successful lawyer, known for her sharp mind and tireless work ethic. From the outside, Clara seemed to have it all: prestige, wealth, and a promising career. But inside, she often felt like a spectator in her own life, watching it unfold in a blur of deadlines and obligations. Clara's days were a whirlwind of meetings, courtrooms, and late nights at the office. She rarely had time to pause, to breathe, or to reflect. The demands of her job left little room for anything else, and gradually, the things she once enjoyed, reading, painting, even spending time with friends, slipped away. Her life became a series of tasks to be completed, rather than moments to be cherished. One evening, after a particularly grueling day at work, Clara found herself stuck in traffic on her way home. The red taillights stretched out before her like a river of frustration. She sighed, rubbing her temples, feeling the weight of another long day pressing down on her. As she glanced out of the window, something caught her eye. On the sidewalk, just beyond the gridlocked cars, was a small park. In the midst of the city's chaos, the park seemed like a world apart, quiet, serene, untouched by the frenzy around it. Clara hadn't noticed it before, or perhaps she had, but never really seen it. But tonight, something urged her to stop. Without much thought, Clara pulled over and parked her car. She stepped out, leaving the noise of the city behind, and walked into the park. The air was cool, and the scent of flowers mingled with the earthy aroma of the grass. She found a bench under a large oak tree and sat down, letting the stillness wash over her. For the first time in what felt like years, Clara allowed herself to simply be. She closed her eyes, listening to the rustle of leaves in the breeze, the distant sound of children laughing, and the occasional chirp of a bird. In that moment, time seemed to slow down, and the constant rush of her thoughts began to quiet. As she sat there, Clara felt something shift inside her. It was as if a fog was lifting, revealing a clarity she hadn't felt in a long time. She realized that she had been running on autopilot, moving through life without really living it. She had been so focused on her career, on being successful, that she had lost sight of what truly mattered to her. Memories of her younger self flooded back, of a time when she dreamed of traveling the world, of writing a novel, of painting landscapes that captured the beauty of nature. She remembered the joy she used to find in simple things, like a walk in the park or a conversation with a friend. These were the things that had once made her feel alive, but they had been buried under the weight of her ambitions. Clara opened her eyes and looked around. The park was illuminated by the soft glow of streetlights, and she noticed an elderly couple walking hand in hand, their steps slow but steady. They seemed content, unhurried, savoring the moment. Clara smiled, feeling a sense of peace that she hadn't known she was missing. In that moment of clarity, Clara made a decision. She realized that she needed to reclaim her life, to find balance between her work and the things that brought her true happiness. It wouldn't be easy. Her job was demanding, and the pressures were real. But she knew that she couldn't continue on the path she was on. Something had to change. The next day, Clara began to make small but significant adjustments. She started leaving the office earlier, taking time to walk through the park on her way home. She reconnected with old friends, picking up conversations that had been left behind in the rush of her career. She dusted off her paintbrushes and began to paint again, finding solace in the colors and the canvas. As the weeks went by, Clara noticed a difference in herself. She was still committed to her work, but she no longer allowed it to consume her. She found joy in the little things, moments of clarity in the midst of her busy life. She began to write again, not with the intention of becoming a published author, but simply because it made her happy. One evening, as Clara sat in the park, watching the sun set behind the city skyline, she realized how much she had gained by slowing down. She had rediscovered herself, the person she had been before life's demands had taken over. And in doing so, she had found a deeper sense of fulfillment, a life that was not just successful, but meaningful. Clara knew that the journey wasn't over, that there would always be challenges and temptations to slip back into old habits. But she also knew that she had the power to choose, to pause, to reflect, and to find those moments of clarity that would guide her forward. And so, with a renewed sense of purpose, Clara continued on her path, not just living her life, but truly embracing it, one moment at a time.